Excel one, I've covered a lot of stuff, and it's
There we go.
so hard to remember. Sometimes some of the stuff at the end.
So that should be, there we go. You're recording now.
Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, doing the little pinning option as well. Right, let me just do something in here. So it's Nat H. Gemaker. Have you guys done any training sessions with me before?
Yeah, we did an Excel one.
Excel and Word.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought so, but I didn't know if it was the same people. But I think I remembered Julie. I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
and I'm the annoying one with the Mac.
Okay.
But that's okay. Everything's fine so far. I'm staying with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Some things sometimes are a little bit different there.
That's okay. Don't stop on my account because the other two are more important than me in this purpose.
No. So templates, pinning. I'm just making a note of pinning what I'm taking you through, so that when I do the certificate, it's on the back of it. And also when I go off and do the reference notes, I remember what I showed you. So I remember what to include in the reference notes. Pinning, I don't know, for pinning, templates. I know what I'm talking about. Yep. All right. So is that concept okay now with the templates?
Yep.
And how you're going to do it and how you're going to save it as a template, give it to them basically, and where it can show up in either location. All right, so if I open this one up now, this is your Gem one. Now, what I've noticed though is I don't think all the layouts are there. So when I go to home, there's only 3 options of layout. So this one isn't even in there as a template for people to then go back and use. It's in here, but not as a blank one for people to use. So that means if anybody wanted to use this, they'd have to come to this one, duplicate it, remove the photo, remove the name, and, you know, manually like muck around with it. Whereas you could be given them the, you know, like set it up here where you say, you know, enter name here, or just give them the placeholder, or do you know what I mean? But give it to them as they don't have the option to just click on here and then roll with it. Actually, a lot of them aren't there. These ones with the 2 columns, that's not in there either. So you have to rebuild it. I tried copying. I went to here, said copy, go to slide master, and then said paste, and it didn't work. So you have to rebuild it. You can copy and paste pictures and stuff. And also by having it here, see here, people can come in and do this and they accidentally pick it up, move it, delete that, and then they go, oh, you know, they've lost the whole thing. And they don't even know what they've done. And maybe 20 steps later, undo, undo, undo. So yeah, all of this should really be as a layout that they can pick from here. So you can see how people can come in here and muck around with your, you know, design. The other context might be, yes, I've done it this way because I want them to have the capability of changing the photo to whatever photo they may want. So that might be an opportunity you want to give the client. But if the client can still do that if they go to the slide master, and then they can, you know, make that change from there. And that's really where they should be changing it, unless it's a, you know, I guess a one-off or something. Yeah. So again, like none of these, even the tables and stuff, none of this is done as a layout.
So just ask Julie, do you ever use this at all? Like I just found this one in our system, but I'm not sure it's ever really used by anybody.
The template file.
This one here, this file.
Yeah, like this is my training slide.
Okay.
Training slides. Yep. So it's, yeah, what I guess I need to understand is I've got all these training PowerPoint files. How can I then go and retrospectively add the template to them to make sure that I overwrite all the bad stuff that I've done to the template.
So what we'll do is I'll show you how to design the layout. And once you know how to once you understand what layouts are, how they work, you know, how they get messed up, how they get reset, then we can go to the slide master and start rebuilding these. But into the slide master, we'll do one or two, and then from that you'll get the gist on how to do that. And then what I'll show you is like, okay, yes, but I've got this existing presentation that I've done. I'm not going to revamp the whole thing. But you can bring in slides, these layouts. You can steal slides, right? But what people do is they come in here and they go copy, and they go to the other one and then they say paste. You don't have to do it that way, especially if you're stealing from the same place all the time. You can use a feature called reuse slides, which I'll show you how to do. And then you just go, okay, here's this one that has 50 slides in it, and I'll move across this slide, and this slide. Go to the next presentation and move across this slide, and this slide. When we present, we sometimes bring in things from different things that we've done over the years.
Oh, look,
it into a new one.
I'm embarrassed to think about the bastardization thing that I've done to this, because I've been doing this for so many years now, and I just keep adding stuff, and so okay, this is coming at a good time, I think, before I make it even worse. All
right, so you've understood about those. Let's just start a little bit raw for a second. So I just want to go to File, New, and I've made your one my default, but I'm going to go to just a blank one. All right. I know it's horrible and it's ugly and all the rest of it. Bypass that. Title only. I don't want that one. All right. So if you can go to File, New, and just pick one of the standard blank types of templates that are there.
So do you want us to do this at the same time?
Yep. Because I want to talk about the placeholders and make sure you understand about that, because this is how you build your layouts. So with the layouts, they are made up of placeholders. What people sometimes do is they start with a blank slide and they start going insert, text box, and then they add their text boxes wherever they want. Now that's a killer, because that doesn't create the consistency. You put in a text box here and you think, rightio, I'll next time I'll insert a text box and put it in the same spot, but it'll be that little bit further up, that little bit further down. It won't be in the right place. But more importantly is that if you change the font size, text, and then you go, no, I need to reset it back to what the default is, you won't be able to, because they're floating independent. So you really should be building your slides always using the slide layouts that you're given. In this case, the ones that you're going to design, right?
Yep.
So whatever one you pick, they're going to have different layout options. Some might have one, some might have five, some might just have just three things in it. But what I want you to do now is just type anything in here. But
sorry, how do we get to that point again?
File and New.
Yep.
And then just pick, you know, you should have some blank kind of ones there.
Got a blank presentation and then some very more designed ones.
Let's see if I can, I just want to see the. Yeah, just actually, can you share your screen? I'll turn off mine and just share your screen for a sec.
Sure.
It's hard because I know I've only got 3 hours and I've got so much that I want to share. Yeah, all right. File, New. Yeah, look, just pick anything. Let me just have a look. Just that first thing. Let me just go to that for a minute. Let me just see what that's like.
Yep.
Search.
So it's a quick starter. To get out of that, try something else.
Yeah, get out of that.
Just try
the second one or the third one. Yeah, that. Yeah. And just create. Yeah. All right. Now go to the command that says new slide. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That'll do.
Okay.
Something like that. All right. Okay, so when you type something in the placeholder, first placeholder there, right? What often happens is people somewhere along the line, someone comes in and they accidentally pick it up and move it out of the way, right? You've seen this happen lots of times, right? No? Yep. All right. And then you think, okay, well, how do I get this placeholder back to where it's supposed to go? What do you normally do? What was that? Oh, yeah, Apple Z, Command Z. But, you know, if you open up the PowerPoint and it's like, hang on a minute, I don't think that's in the right spot, and you can't Command Z, how do you get it in its place? You start picking it up and going, yeah, I think that's where it belongs. And you go up, down, left, right, look for all the guides and go, yeah, that's about right. Is that the way you would put? Yeah. So you're moving it there, but you're not putting it exactly. So when you go from one slide, that's the same. And then the next one, it's like, hang on a minute, it's like slightly out. It's not kind of lined up. So instead of doing that, what you do is reset the same layout. So when you click on this layout button up the top, that's different to this one. This one's give me a new one. And this one is, this is the one that you currently have. See, it's got like a pink border around it. So when you click on this one, it will realign this back to that same layout. Right? So you're not sitting there killing yourself, dragging it and trying to, you know, move it back into the right spot. All right, give it a go on yours. So pick it up, throw it out of whack, and select the same layout that you currently have. Yeah. All right, is that all good?
Mine doesn't actually work just because that layout doesn't exist actually in these slides anywhere. But,
say again?
My layouts don't seem to include that first slide. I'll try the second slide, see if that works.
Well, it's whichever layout you have, it should be highlighting, because you didn't create a blank one and insert text box. You chose from one of the standard layouts. So it should be, you want to share your screen?
Sure. Just a second.
So unless you went to a blank slide and said insert text box, then yeah, well, you're getting nothing. But you picked one of the layouts to begin your foundation from. Yeah, so when you click on that and go to the layout tab up the top.
Yeah, so if I go to the layouts here, it looks like it's a title slide.
There we go.
So
same.
If I click on title slide, change it to that.
That's it.
Oh, okay, so that's how it should be.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if you changed it and you made it black or you.
Anything. I just opened up the slide and did that. So it looks like these layouts aren't part of the actual layouts in here.
Maybe not. Something else is going on there.
Yeah, it's to be title and content. Then if I click on title and content, it changes it over there.
Okay. So I don't know what's going on with that one. All right, but just do that. Go to the first one. Yep. Grab the placeholder. It says title, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And grab that. Type in there. Oh, actually, it's already text in there. You can barely see it. And just pick the frame up and move it out of whack.
Yeah.
That's it. And then go to layout and choose the same one. It puts it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. Now, there's two things. Sometimes we want to, move things out of whack, but we also want to change the font, the size, when we want to be a little bit of a rebel and go outside of the color scheme that they're giving us. Now, I don't have to click and drag and drag and drag and drag and select every single bit that's inside the frame if I want to color everything that's in the frame. I can just click on the outside where the dotted line is, becomes solid, and then you change the color, right? So this time around, I've done two things. I've grabbed this thing and I've moved it out of whack and I've changed the colour. Now, if what I want to do is just put the placeholders back where they belong, then I'll do what I did before, which is press that button, and it puts the placeholder back, but allows me to leave the colouring that I did. Now, if I do the same thing and I go, yes, but somebody's used the wrong colour and they've put the placeholder and they've thrown it out of whack, then that's where the reset button comes in, because that will fix up the two problems. Puts the placeholder back and makes sure it conforms with the theme colours that they were supposed to. Okay. Is that all good?
Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah. Julie, is that good for you?
Yep, sorry, I'm still fiddling around with templates and where to save it, and yes, so don't worry, keep going. I'm keeping up.
You're okay.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, that's the main thing. Now, the other thing that you're going to find is when people use the layouts with the bullets, if they type, or as they type, the more they type and fill in the space, when they go over, it's going to change the point size automatically because they're typing more stuff. So people might call you and go, oh, yeah, the point size is not working anymore. No. Okay, well, you know, you're typing too much stuff. And that's why it's automatically, this is how PowerPoint works. It's like trying to help you out here. And you'll notice it comes up with a smart tag. And the smart tag comes up and says, hey, you know, and it gives you an option to say, hey, look, you're typing a bit too much stuff. You're trying to cram in too much. So it gives you the option to split it between two slides. Now, it just sort of randomly picks, you know, where it thinks the rest of the information should go. There's not like it's every 2 lines, every 10 lines. There's no rule like that. It's, I don't know what it decides it based on, and it just splits it into 2. I'm going to Control Z, oops, not Control S, Control Z that. You know, I mean Control and Command for you. I think you guys have got that. The smart tag there's an option here, continue in new slide, or can change it to a 2 column. Now, I think I saw one of your layouts, they're using the 2 column. So I don't know if you've designed that or somebody else has done that, but there's an option there for 2 columns, and sometimes people don't get that either. There's 2 columns and then there's 2 placeholder frames, 2 completely different things. One is like a flow and the other one is no, you're going to have to click and start typing in the next box. So if you say change it to 2 columns, then it keeps it in there. So it's still 1 frame, but it's 2 columns.
How can you access that if it doesn't give you the smart tag?
Up the top here, you can manually choose to make things into 1 column, 2 columns and 3 columns yourself without the smart tag. If you didn't have enough info, because this only comes up when you've got enough info. So if you pre-know that, you can come up here and go 2 columns.
Yeah, thanks.
So it should, you know, wrap automatically.
Cool.
People don't understand that sometimes, and you know, all sorts of mess can happen. What's it called? Smart tag. There's a name for it. Hang on. And people don't know how to change it from 2 columns back to 1 column as well. Auto fit option. Now, the other thing is about the frames and the placeholders. So we're talking about how people can mess and kill things up, right? So when you have these things in place, somebody can come in here and go, all right, well, I don't want that style. I want to change it. Now, instead of creating a new slide, making it this, and then copying and pasting the bits that you need and shoving them into here, what you actually do is change the layout. So this is creating a new layout. This is either resetting the layout placeholders where they belong, or it's changing it to a different layout. So then I can choose the other layout. These aren't, it's not a good example, this one that I've picked, but anyway. But you can see it's got one placeholder here, and did it have another one? I thought I had a sub there, which is not. There we go, there it is. You know what I mean? So that information is showing here, and this one is all crammed into this little bit here. So people have to manually come in here and cut and delete stuff, or, you know, reposition it to where they want to put it.
If you had one layout that had 3 text boxes and you converted it to allow 2 text boxes, what would happen to the first text box?
It's a mess. You end up with a floating. Oh no, I don't have a good example here. I need something else.
I guess if you convert it to a blank one, what happens to it then?
Yeah, but there's no placeholders. Hang on a sec. Let me just go to this. Is this one got it? That's better. That's the one I was looking for. All right. So let me just do a new one. So if I use this one, placeholders, but I want to move it to something that's got 3, 4, or 5 placeholders. So when I select a design that's got 2 placeholders or more or less, yeah, whatever. So I've got 1, 2, 3 placeholders, but now they change their mind and they want to go back to a single placeholder or something different, right? That doesn't hold all the boxes or doesn't hold all the data. So if I change it back to this one, what you get is the placeholder here, and this one here, the placeholder stretches itself. The information doesn't automatically find a home. You've got to manually do the work, and this is where they get messed up. So you have to select this information, cut it from here, put it back into this spot. And the problem is people leave these framed placeholders and forget to get rid of them. And then when they're working, they go, oh, there's another box. Oh, there's something in the way. There's a light. Okay, yeah, got to get rid of it. They leave this drizzle behind. So things don't magically, you know, jig themselves to whatever you change. They can't. So you have to do the work. Have a play with that. See if you can find something that's got, like you said, multiple placeholders, and then trying to, you know, change it to something that's got only 1 or 2 placeholders, and have a look at the frames that get left behind. But you have to do the work.
All right, 2 things that have been life-changing for me is the smart box at the bottom. What did you call that?
It's called auto fit option. It's a smart tag. It's an auto fit option.
Yeah, and the fact you can make it over 2 as well. Like you can go split between 2 slides, or continue on a new slide, or change to 2 column. Yeah, because normally I cut the text, I copy it, I start a new slide, I go to the new slide, I put the text in, I make sure the font's the same. Yeah.
It's a lot of nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even in my Mac, when I go open, so it says new presentation, but I've also got new from template as well. So I can just access, and then it finds my template, which I've now saved in my template folder. And so now the Gemaker template is there. Yeah.
I know.
My world has just been, you know, changed for the better. Yeah.
Streamlined already.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, understanding the placeholders and explaining this to your customers is also another thing as well. Because just because they go, yeah, I use PowerPoint, I've been using it for 20 years, good on you. But, you know, you've been doing the same thing for 20 years and you've never explored and played with all the new things. And this stuff's been around for 500 years. This is nothing new, what I've just shown you.
Yep.
But people aren't aware of it. Because, you know, you just do what you got to do. All right. So that's the layouts, which are really important. Now, in terms of you work on a presentation and you want to steal from another one, which has, like Tim was saying, that the layouts are like, well, that one has 3 boxes, and now I want to bring it over to here and then, you know, make it conform a little bit, and then you've got to jiggle around with it. All right, but what we do is we steal. So this little button is your stealing button. It's called reuse slides. It's always been around, but it used to be, and it still is, under the button for new slide and reuse slides. You can find it there, but depending on what version you have, and I don't know if you have it on the Mac there. I think on the Mac you've only got it under here. Is that right?
I've got, if I go to new slide, it says duplicate selected slides, not that.
But further down, a little bit further down.
I've got
So reuse slides a little bit further down past that.
No.
I've got duplicate, outline, and then reuse.
Yeah, and you're on the Mac?
Yep.
And Julie, you're on the Mac, so you should have it there as well.
Where did you say yours is, Nat?
So if you go to new slide,
Yep.
and it gives you like the template options, and then under that there should be duplicate slide, outline, or reuse slides.
I've only got insert slides from outline, insert slides from other presentation. I have an old version. This is an old Mac. So
Share your screen. Let me check it out. Depending on how old it is, but reuse slide has been around for, I don't know, 2010. I'm pretty sure it was there. Actually, no, it's been around since day dot. So okay, check it. Let me share your screen for me. Let me check it out.
Sorry, I'm really hopeless on Teams.
That's okay. It's on the top on the right near the leave button, the share button. It's a square with a
Oh, there it is.
arrow.
Open share tray. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's Mac
Yep.
stuff. It's a little bit different. Yeah, okay.
Can you
There
see
we go.
that?
All right, right.
So when I go to new slide, these are the options. But like this is an old version of PowerPoint because this is an.
It is because I can tell. So yours is like 2000 and
Yeah, it's old, and I haven't updated anything because it's
okay. Click on that button for me.
previous. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details.
I know, I can tell. I do remember.
Yeah.
The 2000. That's why I said about 2008. So it's pretty old. Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, hit the drop down arrow there. Like we're in new slide up the top.
Yep.
No.
Can you
Yeah.
see that?
I'm not seeing the drop down. Have you opened it?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not seeing the opening. I'm not able to see the the dialog box that comes up.
That's
Okay.
right. I'm trying to look for it in
Do
the
you
help.
have an insert menu that I can't see?
Let me make mine bigger.
Either bigger or smaller, I'm not sure. Is there an insert menu? Okay, you got slides.
Section, add section.
No, you got sections. Don't you have a menu at the top and it still says file, edit, view like the old days?
File. Yep. Edit.
I
Insert.
can't see that, but if you've got one there that says insert, can you click on that?
Yep. I've clicked on that now. It says new slide, duplicate slides, slides from other presentation outlines.
Slides from other presentations. That's what it is. Slides from other presentations.
Okay. Yep.
We can't see any of your dialog boxes.
That's fine. That's cool. Yep.
Yeah, it's called slides from other presentations.
Okay.
Same, but different. Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. I don't want to distract you because I know you've got a lot to do. So yes, thank you. That's helpful.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to update
Yes.
this version.
I'm too scared because the computer's
Like,
so old.
2010, I'd go, no worries, who cares?
Yeah.
But that's like 2008, like it's
Yes,
nearly
I know.
2005. Like,
Okay. But you know what? This Mac is so old and it is such a workhorse and never misses a beat. I'm too scared to change anything.
I do the same, Jules.
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you mean. And Macs are pretty good at holding on the grunt. Best way to put it. All right, so you got that. So reuse slide. Okay, so it appears on the right hand side, and what you're able then to do, yours is a little bit different. It says, file, browse, but it's same, but again a little bit laid out differently. But what you do is you click on browse, and then you go off and navigate to wherever the other presentations may be, and you can open them up. So maybe I'll open this one up, And now it starts to display here on the right. So what you're able to do is take from other presentations and bring them into your one. Now it says use source formatting, so you can untick that if you like, so that the theory is that when you bring it across, it's not always working smoothly, but the theory is when you bring it across, then that's a photo or a picture, so that's why nothing comes in. But you can see in the background the design of the one that I've got has come in.
Yeah.
And if I do that, see how it brings in the logo, but it still has my, you know, color scheme and whatever. Sometimes what you want to do is, because it's from a different organization, maybe it's 2 or 3 organizations, maybe 2 different banks. Well, then when you bring the stuff in from that bank, you've got to come in with their theme, with their, you know, color themes. So if I tick that now and then bring it across, see how my logo bit, greeny bit's not there in the background. It's brought in everything from that one.
So, sorry,
So
when I brought
what's
mine
happened?
in, it actually embedded them straight into what I've already got.
Yes, so it brings it in on the left-hand side. Well, you have to select which one you want from the right.
It didn't give me that option. It just put them
Alright.
straight in already.
Share your screen. Let me have a look. So you're all on Macs, are you? Tim, are you on a
I'm on
Mac?
PC. I'm on Windows.
You're on Windows. Woohoo!
Cooler than us. Oh, hang on a second.
So let me see, because again, the Mac might be is going to be a little different by the look of it.
It's bringing up a different window. It's
All right.
Am I-
Can you share your
right.
screen?
Yeah. Is it the share? Is it called Share Tray?
Yes.
That's the right one.
Yes.
Did that work?
No.
Oh, now it's saying close Share Tray, so something's happened.
Have you got different monitors? Maybe it's showing up on one of the other monitors.
I've just got one.
So Tim, for you, this is all working fine.
I haven't brought in a slide yet.
All right, we'll check something out. Go to browse and bring something. Are you all in the same office, or you guys all work from home all the time now?
Or remote.
From home.
Or from home all the time. Okay, so you can't talk to each other, and well, you can talk to each other, but you can't.
Yeah.
Like,
So how do I get to this again anyway? I was watching what I wasn't doing. How do I get to that? Bring in slides? Oh, the reuse slides. Okay, yeah.
yeah, home, reuse slide, then on the right top, browse, and then it brings up your different presentations on the side, and you're able to then choose which one you want to bring across.
Yeah.
The tray thing not working. Let me try share my screen just to, I don't know, reset it, and then I'll take it off again. Okay, and then see if you can try yours now.
No, if I click Open Share Tray,
Yep.
it brings up just a blank bar across the bottom of the screen, and then it's got Close Share Tray option, so it's done something, but it's just showing blank.
Doesn't want to work. Damn.
No. Typical.
Typical. Yeah. And so what version of the Mac are you on, by the way?
That's a good question. Let me have a look.
Well, let me just.
I'm on
Does yours look
Catalina.
like Julie's? Does yours look like Julie's, or is yours got more of a fatter ribbon and icon?
So mine's more modern. I've got version 10.15.
Okay.
PowerPoint version is version 16.6.
Oh, yeah, version 16, 2016.
I guess.
Yes, maybe.
I have
All
no
right.
clue.
All right. Well, look, yeah. Well, that's
So yeah,
that's the way that one's supposed to work. You can pick, and you can then turn off the option here for use source formatting. You can untick that. That way it comes across, but it's supposed to use yours. Now, sometimes it might get a little bit stuck because it's trying to, you know, compensate for all these different formatting that's going on. So you may need to then, you know, hit reset, or, you know,
So what it's doing for me is, say I was on slide 4.
Yep.
If I go new slide, reuse slides, and then I pick another slide set from somewhere else, it actually inserts all of those slides from slide 4 downwards.
All of them.
But
geez.
it's all of them. Yep. So now I've got 30 slides.
No way.
But it still has the green in the background from the original template that I had chosen. So it's kind of meshed the 2 slides together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right. That's not nice. I don't want to bring in 30 slides and then
So
have
that's
to
not what we want.
remove, like Jesus. Okay, yeah, without seeing your screen, I can't, visualize that one. You could maybe take a snapshot and maybe, I don't know if you can put it in the chat,
Put it in the chat.
or
Yep.
email it to me if you're able to. I don't know if it lets you put images in there. Stick a GIF, that not. All right. Well, I'll move on from that concept. You've sort of at least got the idea, the gist, and you'll probably have to have a little bit more of a play around. But that's the reuse slide, so you can steal from other places. You've got multiple there because I can go browse and find another place to go and bring something from. So you can bring across stuff from lots of different places. All right. So now that we understand, I guess, a bit of the framework there, now we can take a look at the slide master. Oh, one other thing. Sorry, let me get out of this one. I'll say no. No. So let's say this is your presentation. You've got all the layouts. Let's pretend for a minute that you've got all the slide masters set up and in place. Now, if what you now want to do going forward is if you want your client to be able to use this as their default to work with, so that whenever they go file new, this is what, so if I go file new at the moment, I've set my your one as the default. So if I say file new, there's the default theme and it's ready to go, and the layouts that come with that design template are ready to go as well. So the way that's done is you open up a PowerPoint presentation that has all of the slides that you want. When you hit the button for new slides, all of the layouts should display in here because the slide template should have been created properly. So let's presume that that has all of the slide layouts how you want them. What you would then do is go to the design tab and actually say save current theme. Now, by saying save current theme, it kind of saves that presentation, that template. It saves the theme color that belongs with that template. It saves the layouts that belong with that template. So you can create and use multiple, because some organizations do use different design presentations for slightly different purposes, internal clients, external clients, when you're dealing with costings and, whoever else, managers and whatnot. So if you say save current theme, it should point to, and this is the important part, you can't redirect it and have it point anywhere you like. It's actually got to point to the document themes. So the template folder and document themes area. If it's not pointing there, then it's not going to be saved and it's not going to work correctly. That area is in the, I copy that, escape, let me paste it here. That is in the C drive. Now, depending on whether you have, well, you guys have Mac, so it's like the pointing is going to be slightly different. And if people have version, Windows 10 and Windows 11, it might also point and live in a slightly different place. The end result is that it is somewhere in the C drive in user. It's in a folder called templates, and then it's in another layer called document theme. That's, the path, basically. So if you've got that bit set up correctly, when you say save current theme and you give it a name, it'll live in that particular location. You name it. And what that means is in the area for custom, your templates that you access, they're available here. And by making them available here, you can actually right click on them, but it has to be from the area here for custom when it shows up. You're able to right click and say, set that as my default theme. And that way your client has that, and that's the one that they're using all the time. They don't have to go file new. Oh, where is it again? Oh, I forgot to pin it. Or they can just, if you give them this instruction, then they're going to be using that template all the time. I don't know if that's the same or similar path on your Macs though.
Yeah, it's in, it looks like it's under library and user content, and then it just, like, it came up with the themes folder automatically.
Yeah, so if you come up to the design tab and you hit the drop down, if it shows up here in the area for custom, then yay.
But that first one is the Alkane one. Have you saved that, or is it saved automatically?
It doesn't save automatically. I set them as the default. I set this one as the default theme. That one.
So the first custom one is one of ours. How did that get there and the custom?
Which one? This one? I added it that way. I opened up that template.
So
I opened up that PowerPoint,
okay.
Not even a template. I opened up that PowerPoint and then said save as current theme. And that's how it's showing here. After the session, I've got to get rid of it.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, but that's what you do is you add it here, and if you want to use it all the time, you set it as your default theme. All right, so being on the Mac, it'll be slightly different, but that's pretty much the way you want to do that one. So set as custom theme. Yeah. Okay. So that's how the you want your client to basically be able to work with it, roll with it, make it really easy for them. They just click on here and start using the layouts that you've given them, and the color palette comes with that template, with that presentation. All right. In terms of the design, when you start typing, yep. All right, the design ideas that time around when I started typing for some reason didn't come up. Nevertheless, it's in the home tab, and if you do want it to kick in and give you some suggestions, you can click on the command button that says design ideas. Now, I'm not sure if you have that in that Julie's version, but I think if you've got the 2013, I think is when this came out, so I'm not sure if you have it. All right, and it's not picking it up. It doesn't like either the slide layout or it's not picking up anything helpful. But if I get out of this one, what about when I'm in any of these? Not offering me anything either. That's because they're not set up as masters in here, possibly. See, somebody's just created frame, and just put the stuff in. That's why that's probably not going. If I go back to, what else have I got? PowerPoint, welcome. All right, so if I go to this one, there we go. So as long as I've got a little bit of text, and I'd say it's not picking yours up and offering suggestions because they're not based on layouts. They're just blank slides and somebody's put in text boxes and said, here, use that. So you can see with the design ideas, if you do have it, it just comes up and offers all of these things. Now, when it offers them, next time round, it mightn't, these are all new. I've never seen these offers, actually. But whilst it's offering this, next time I do this, it doesn't matter if I write the same thing, same words, 3 bullet points, or next time 10 bullet points, what I get offered here could be different because they're constantly always updating and everything. Are you seeing design ideas at all, Mac, people on the Mac?
Yeah, I've got it.
Oh, excellent. Julie, I don't know that you'll have it.
I don't think I do, no, but I'm now inspired to update.
Yeah. When you update, my recommendation is that you do the buy the Office 365 subscription.
Yeah, right. This is not a Gemaker computer, so anyway, I've got to navigate that as well. It's a Sydney Uni computer.
Okay, my recommendation.
Once you get to touch anything.
Why I say to do Office 365 and as a subscription is because as new things come up, you just get them.
Yep.
Like this dictate button is kind of like a new thing the last couple of years or whatever, but you never had that before. Now you all of a sudden you've got all this brilliant stuff. Whereas before, when you buy the hard copy of 2016, that's all you get at that point in time. And then, you know, you hang on to it for 3-5 years, you're working off old stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so the design ideas is really nice and it'll offer you completely different things depending on, you know, what you've got in there. Now, the downside is you go, because I thought, oh, this is really nice, it's good, I'll use this and I'll make this as a, put it in as a slide master. But when you click on it or choose it or you've got it there, when you go to new slide, it's not there. It doesn't automatically embed this design into as a layout that you can then use again later on. It's kind of like a one-off. So if you go, well, that's nice and I like the picture and I like all of that, for you to get it in here in the background, you're going to have to go to view. Have you guys used the slide master at all? No. Nope. All right. So slide master is where you do all your layouts, get all your placeholders in the right spot. So you would have to come into here and insert new layout. And it gives you the foundation, the base. And you would have to then reconstruct what they designed into here. So you'd have to come in here and say, right, well, I need a placeholder for the picture. And then you go, I want it here and I want about this big and whatever. And then you'd have to go find that picture. Well, I don't know if you can, how I can steal that picture and get it all perfect, because sometimes you steal it and it's like, doesn't display it properly or whatever. But anyway, and you can then put a picture in that spot. So you can either put the placeholder for a picture so that they can come in and change that picture. Because when you're in here, this is the placeholder for a picture. It's not you putting in the picture. If you want to put in a picture, then you just would go, you know, it's a permanent picture. So you would go insert picture and then go find the picture that you want.
And then it's not changeable by the client, is that right?
Not unless they come into the slide master and muck around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did know that was there, but I've never edited one, which I don't intend on ever editing one, just to be honest. But
I'd have to get one with the right picture, right size picture and blah, 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 you know, but you know what I'm talking about. This is just to give you the gist of what you would do. So basically, yes, you would put the picture here, send it to the back, you know, do all that kind of mucking around, send it to the back. So then the text is sitting here and then you would make it, you know, whatever. The picture's got to be appropriate. That's obviously not, but you know what I mean. So you put in the picture and place it wherever you want, however you want it to be. But that's a permanent picture. But yes, anybody can come into here and go view slide master and go, oh, this layout, oh, I want to change that picture now, delete and reinsert a different picture. Like there's nothing to stop them from doing that.
Is there any way, when the picture isn't there and they're working in this front end part here, is there any way to edit it from here to get into that master, or you have to go into the slide master to delete it?
The picture?
So, yeah, so if you've got a picture in a slide master, is there any way to delete it without going into the slide master if you're working in the slide?
Okay, so hang on a second. So if let me go back to view master, slide master. Go to this last one. Is that the one I added? Paste, chuck it in. Let's just backwards a bit. All right. So if I put the picture in the master, and I'm going to right click here and actually rename it as well, so I can name it. So now when I hover there, it's called the Annalee Special. Yep.
Yep.
And when I'm in the presentation itself, now it appears there and it's available for people to use. When they use it from here, I can type in here, but I can't click on the picture, which is the great thing because people then can't click on the picture and accidentally pick it up and move it out of whack and all that sort of thing. It's in its position where you designed it.
And you can't override that in the front end because you can do that in InDesign.
Yeah, because I didn't make it as a, you know, as a...
So you'd have to make it as a placeholder rather than an actual image.
Correct. Yep. So if I go back to here and design another one, another placeholder, and if I set it as a placeholder, then that's a place where people can insert a picture and they can put it exactly in this sort of location, however I want it to go. And, you know, send backwards and blah, blah, blah. But, and this one is rename, and say editable picture, because they've got control and they can insert whatever picture they like. You might give them a library of photos, pictures that you've specifically like, you know, artistically put together, and that's what you want them to use. So when you go to new, there's that placeholder, editable picture. And there they can go here and then go find wherever that picture is and, you know, put it in.
And then they could also delete it if they didn't want it.
They can come in here, just, you know, hit delete, and it deletes the picture, not the frame.
Can you delete the frame as well? Oh.
Say again?
But they can't delete the frame?
No. So when they hit delete, they're not actually deleting the placeholder. See, the placeholder is still there.
Okay.
I mean, they can
delete.
They can click it a second time and then delete, and then yes, they can still kill it. But they can always come back here and reset it.
Can you change the size of the placeholder or the position from the front end or not?
From here?
Yeah.
Yeah. They can come in here and still stuff it up.
Okay.
Or tweak it. Because, you know, they can, but, you know, if they do stuff that, you know, you don't want them to, I mean, they can also come here and, you know, reset.
Yeah, no, that's kind of useful because, yeah, our clients, they want to follow a layout sometimes, but, you know, some pictures might be a bit wider or narrower than other ones, so it's good if they can do that.
Pictures are a funny thing, like, you know, they're never like perfect, and they're taking photos themselves and then wanting to use those, you know, and then there's some that have been artistically created for them, but, you know.
So can I ask, what's the purpose of a placeholder if you can just insert an image anyway?
But then it's always exactly in that spot. It's exactly, you know, 2 millimeters from the top, 5 millimeters from the end and whatever. It's not the client then going, yeah, all right, yes, you're allowed to put a picture there. And like, how do they know that you can put a picture there and that's going to look good? They'll go off and stick a picture anywhere and make it look crappy. And it's like they've got no idea.
So
They
it's
go
to
in and they
provide
put it.
consistency in the.
They'll just shove it like that, or they'll just shove it
Yeah.
over here or over here and go, yeah, that looks good. No, it's got to be like balanced, a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of that. Like they've got no idea.
They could still move the placeholder though, but at least it's there to say to them, all right, this is where it should be.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, we all like to be given our styled, how the bedding should be and all that sort of stuff. But we go, yes, but I like mine black. Yes, but I like my corner bent. It's like, yeah, rightio. But, this is what we have given you, what we have told you is a style. This is what we tell you works well. The white on the black on the white give people the option to have it. How sometimes you want things the bright colour and sometimes you need it the dark colour. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I get a bit excited. I should calm down, eh?
You're the first person I've met to be excited by PowerPoint.
I'm excited by everything. Well, training for people, the receiver, can be so boring. And I've seen some people deliver and they go, okay, now click on the top on the left. Yes, insert it. I go, yeah, okay. Like, why am I doing that? Like,
yeah.
And I've seen some people be very military about it. I'm going,
yeah,
radio, not my style.
Can I just ask a Gemaker question while I've got Nat and Tim in the same room? Has this been added to your list, Nat, to look at our template for our presentation?
Possibly. I know we've talked about rejigging a few things.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got it on a list. I'm not sure I give it to Nat yet, but I've got it on a list.
Okay, cool. That's all right. I just would like to endorse that being on the list if possible.
Is it more of a visual thing or just to get it into a template format type thing?
So currently I'm doing a presentation. For all the presentations I'm doing for training, I've got an old presentation of Rebecca's that she's rejigged, that's got the red bar across the top and the white text in Calibri. Yeah. And I don't know if that's a template, but I'm just copying that slide and using that, which is obviously clearly the wrong way to be doing things. And so all of this is sparking my ideas as to how we can create that as a template that can then be applied to all the future presentations that I do.
Just so you know, Julie, that's exactly how I've been doing it up until now as well.
Okay. Phew, that makes me feel better.
I'm learning lots today, trust me.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, hopefully this will then, spark us to create good templates from scratch that we can then use in future. Because if I open up this Gemaker template, sorry, Annalia, I've hijacked now.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I go like new slide, there's title slide, title and content, and title and bullets. Which if I do that in that, we've got our template version 2, it's nothing like what we're currently using in our presentations. So it'd be good to have more options and sorry, that's I just thought I'd talk to you both about it now while we're in the training, and it'd be good to add that to the list.
Yeah, just don't forget urgent, Julie. It's in the list, but we can shuffle it earlier if you need it sooner.
I'm not doing training till the first week of June, so it's not crazy urgent. And look, it doesn't really matter, but I think it's a good practice to get into for our brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
To do this stuff better.
I just noticed your logo there. You want to put these logos in your slide master. So are you guys able to get into the slide master and have a play around? Like get into like a blank presentation or whatever one you want to start off with, but get into view slide master and then go down to the bottom. Are you able to get to that point and have a play for yourself? So one thing is watching. You've got to play around with it and do it yourself as well. Yeah. So when you're getting there, on the left, you want to go to insert new layout. That gives you the base and the framework there.
Yeah.
It's got the logo there because that's the logo on the first one. This, see how this one's a bit bigger than the others, and there's like a link coming out of all of those, because that is the master of the masters.
Okay.
Like a master of the masters.
Yep.
That's why when I click on this one, it's got the logo there, and when I click on this one, I can't click on that logo. It's actually controlled by this one here. So if I was to pick this up and put it here, you're going to see that it has then moved it on this one. It's moved it off to the right now.
Yep.
So this one is based on that one. That's just kind of like how it goes.
Yeah, so after break, I'd love to work through creating a slide master from scratch. I've never really understood how that works, the sub slides and what should be on what.
Yeah. So in here is where you would insert and put in, like on this main one, your logo and decide where it goes, rather than in the actual slide here where people can pick it up and really delete and put their own one there or do whatever they want to do. The other thing I'll show you is, let me just clarify here. So if I use this one, all right, the idea is, and this is like the idea of the styles, right? Not all layouts, I noticed some people design the placeholders like this, but they don't give them access to bullets. But they'll still do this writing and this level to be different. Yep. Now, I'm just going to do another one. Actually, I'll just duplicate and just change a couple of things. Right. The idea, because I've created a slide using the layout that I had here, if I then go through and say, well, no, I want to add something else, it's too plain, it's too wide, or, you know, I want to add a little bit of something, you will change that in the master so that it changes it in anything that uses that layout. So when I go into the master and I go to this placeholder here, or this one, which then cascades through to the others, yeah, I can go, I don't know, insert, shape, line, you know, thing. Roughly, whatever. So it's this line sort of thing. Maybe even I will go to this level and make the writing, oh goodness, make the writing a different color. Yeah, charcoaly thing, that'll do. But I've made that change once in this one here, and anything that follows that base, any designs that I've followed that base that I've made maybe a little bit different, they follow. Let me get out of here now. So if I go to Slide Master and get out, all of these are now already done and updated. See, it's got the lines, got the grey colour. I didn't have to go to each of those and retweak and or use the format painter or, you know, all of that other sort of stuff. So whenever you want to change the consistency, the font's different now. The company rule is we're using this font, we're using this colour, not that shade. You go back to your master, you go back to the layout, play with it there, and then it'll, you know, follow through.
So one thing I find is that sometimes you want to slide with bullets, sometimes you don't. Is that two separate layouts, or can you have one text box that you can either make a bullet list or not a bullet list?
So again, oh, a separate layout. So they can choose. They will choose from here one with bullet styles and one without bullet styles. So the frame is like virtually the same, but just one doesn't have bullets in it. So I would go to the Slide Master, say this is the layout, duplicate it, and then just take out the bit that you want to take out or tweak and change whatever you want to change there.
Okay.
Don't give them options for whatever, or everything is centered, or, you know, whatever. But you give it a different layout, and you also want to rename the layout so that they know which one they're mucking around with.
I guess a lot of the time they'll have a bit of text at the top and then bullet points under that. So
It's whatever you want to design.
Would you have one with 2 text boxes then that they can use?
I'd create hundreds
either one?
I'd create hundreds of different layouts. You know, 20, 40 different layouts. It's, you know, it's up to the client.
The bullet points then would still follow all the same formatting across the entire presentation, even if it's in a 3rd text box or something?
Say again, they've got to be using that layout though.
Well, what I'm saying is, and I guess this goes back to how this is going to flow from the slide master to the sub slide masters. If I've got one layout that's got text, bullet points, and one that's got text and then bullet points, are those bullet points going to be consistent across all the slides, all the masters? Because they're not in the same text box.
No, they're controlled by the slide master, and they're controlled from here. So if you want to have them the same, you design it the same font size, color, whatever, and you can make that one completely different. But you're controlling it from here, not from the building end.
I guess what I'm saying is, if this slide one here has, this one's just got text, and then another one that's got bullet points and a text box underneath it. How are they linked? How's this one linked to the next one with the bullet points? How does it know to follow the same ticks for 2nd level? Are we just copying and pasting it into this one? So do you want to create a 2nd slide, whatever it's called? What are these called? Submasters or sub? What are these ones called?
Layouts.
Layouts. So create a 2nd layout that's got text and bullets.
All right. So you choose the placeholder that holds that and decide where you want it.
Yep. And then one for text as well.
That is text. It's up to them whether they use bullets 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th level.
Okay, so you can have one text box with bullets, but if they don't want bullets, they can just go into there and change it to normal text, and it's still going to be styled consistently.
So you want them to be able to use bullets and not use bullets?
Yes.
Well, they can go to the layout and turn off the bullet, yes, if they want to.
Okay, and it'll still follow the consistent formatting of other text in the presentation.
If I go to that one that I just did then, that one, that's got the bullet design there, but I can decide that, no, I don't want to use the bullet and turn it off, and I can type, the colouring is still there, the font, the size, whatever you've decided is still there. I've just decided to turn off the bullet feature, which I can turn on and off. Is that what you're asking me? I'm not sure. I don't know. I think I'm missing it.
So if you had text that was grey in the presentation and the bullets were red, right now, would that turn back to grey, or would it stay red with the styling from the bullets?
So again, the bit about the grey and the red.
So I suppose the presentation had all normal text in grey and all the bullet points in red. If I change this now from a bullet point, is it going to pick up the styling that normal text is in the presentation, or is it going to keep the styling from the bullets?
But where are you? But when you're changing it, you could change it from 2 places. You can come in here and I can still make this black. Like I can come in here and completely like change and do all sorts of things to the front end of it here. But they can come in and reset it if they, except for the highlighting yellow, it looks like that doesn't want to work. The client can always.
Can you go to the slide master for a second? Yeah, but I guess it'd be consistent. Can you go to the slide master for a second, please?
Sure.
Could you create one layout that's got a heading, a normal text box, and then bullets?
Okay, so a layout that's got a heading.
and then normal text under that. Another text box with normal
There's
text.
no option for text like this kind of text. These are the only choices of the boxes and frames and placeholders that you have. So the text box always comes with the bullet option that you can turn on and off. So the bullets and all the levels of bullets are there for you by default. That's what you get offered. If you decide that I don't want to use any bullets at all, well, that's okay. You can turn them off.
Okay, so all the bullet styling and the text styling is the same essentially. So it's got echo again.
Yes, so you can, the placeholder, there's not a placeholder that you can say just text here without the bullets. The only option it gives you is to create a placeholder. They call it text, but it's preset with the bullet layout that you can choose to say, well, I don't want to give them other level options.
So the first level of bullets will be the same as the styling of the normal text?
It'll be the style, just whatever style you want to make it, yeah.
Okay.
There is no second level because I just, got rid of it.
Yep. So just to clarify, if I wanted them to have a presentation where paragraph text was grey and all bullets were red text, I couldn't do that.
So the paragraph, this is the first level, which is your paragraph, yeah.
Say I wanted that to be grey.
Grey, yeah.
Yeah. And every time you create a bullet list, the bullet text was in red.
Well, then you have to offer it to them. So you'll want to. This is whether they get to use it or not. So I can say, okay, no bullet for you. You're going to be in grey. And if you do, want to use a bullet level, then this is the style of bullet that I want you to use. And you can, make it whatever you want, whether it's circle, red, not, whatever. So the bullet is red and the text is whatever colour you want it to be. You're setting these up to be whatever you want them to be. Is that what you mean?
Maybe just leave it for now. Like I'm kind of not sure in terms of how the styling flows from the master slide into these. Into
the actual
layouts.
Front end?
Yeah. So I can see we can make layouts for different whatever we want, but if I make another layout, I guess if I make it follow the same colours as what's in the colour styles, then that should be consistent.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're saying, Tim. So if we've got a text box on the front end slide and we're typing text in grey, and then you want to return onto a new line and add some bullets in, are those bullets going to be red or will they still be grey? Is that what your question is?
Yeah.
They will be whatever you told them to be here.
So there in that box, Annalia, you can have all your normal type in grey, and then you could set your bullets under that in red. And then it's up to them at the front end whether they want to have both or just one or the other.
Yeah, the bullet is in red there, though. Isn't that what you mean, though?
The text, I think, is meant.
Yeah, like say if the whole bullet line was red, but the whole normal text line above that was grey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they could just choose whether they want text and bullets or just one or the other.
Exactly. Yes. Because they're deciding, like here, I've only used one level of bullet. Until you hit tab, you're not going to be using the second level.
If we could after the break.
And until you hit tab again, you're not going to be using the third level. That one is, but.
I think it'd be useful if after the break we could just create a slide master from scratch, just so I can see how that flows in from the main master into layouts.
Yeah. Let's take a break and I'll leave you some time to have a practice. So let's take a coffee break. Let me just put that on before I forget. Timer. Let's just make that 15. Okay. So I'll see you in about 15 and you guys can have a little play around with a slide master or have a coffee or whatnot. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I might
Yep.
jump off here, Annalia, because I think I'm
All right.
not going to be creating masters.
Okay.
But I have learnt heaps already. I've got a whole page of notes and yeah. And poor Nat, I think, is going to have more work out of this, but that's okay.
I'm still smiling.
Yeah.
All right. All right. See.
Thanks, Annalie. Nice to see you again.
Bye, Jules.
Bye. Bye, Nat. Bye,
Yeah.
Tim.
Thanks.
All right, I'm just going to turn my video off while I go have a break.
Yeah. Feel free to mute too. See you in a while.
Try logging out, coming back in again. Who knows? Okay, Tim, let's see if we can hear you.
Yep,
Go ahead.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good. All right, so I'll just wait for her to come back in. All right, let's see how we go.
How's that? Any good?
Yes.
Yay.
All right. All right, so let's have a look here. Let me minimize this stuff, minimize that. Okay, slide load, slide master. That'll do. Oh. All right, so understanding the layouts, design themes as the default, design ideas, we've mentioned that, creating templates, the slide master. Now, preserving the master. This is if you want to, the client needs to have two different masters. One master where they want everything in, you know, strong background colors, and then another one, maybe they want the reverse or, I don't know, slightly different logos.
And Lilia, so can I jump in for a second?
Yes.
Could we just go through the slide master creating one from scratch, do you think?
Say again, go to.
Could we just create a slide master from scratch?
So what we'll do is, let me just, new blank presentation.
Thanks.
Okay, so new blank presentation. Right. So in the design, what you're going to do for your client, you're going to need to build their colors. So you're going to need to come into here and create their own custom color palette and then, you know, type in the name of the client. So, I don't know. So are you aware of this window, this screen, this feature here, and tweaking and customizing this area?
I've set up before, but I don't think Nat has.
You've set this up before, Tim?
Yep.
Yep. Do you want to explain how you would work with this one then?
Well, I guess that's another question is, I mean, I just put the colors in there and what made sense, but with the text backgrounds, dark light. Yeah,
You've only got this thing here to go as a sample, yeah.
And there's two versions of them, dark 1, dark 2, so I'm not quite sure if it met what goes where. If they've just got one dark color, what do you put in there?
What these things are, these colors that you have available here, they become available to you. So if I save that, when you go to color a shape, shape color, the colors that you see up the top there that's the colours that you saw, like pretty much strung down there. So even though you said that that's for black text, white text, it's really just about giving them, you know, this variety of options here.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I put the Alkane one together that you've got, parts of it anyway, and with the colours there, I think I just did standard colours for the first 4, which were dark and light colours, and then the brand colours really came in on the 4th colour onwards. Is that how it should be?
Well, it's however you want.
I mean, let's say if there's just one dark colour you want them to use, so they've got a black and white colour scheme, we just put black, white for the first 4 colours? Because it's just a the text background. Like, if they haven't got 4 different text background colours, we just repeat the same ones twice, just not confuse the user.
I would put black and then put black here. Like, that doesn't make sense to offer it to them twice.
But you see the first 4 options?
Yeah.
Like, would you just put in their brand colours there, or would you wait to get to the accents and put in all their colours there?
I think the accents is where you would put their brand colours. And there's an option there for hyperlink as well.
And so the first 4 you just probably keep quite standard, like blacks and greys and whites. Just
well,
some options.
Some organisations like to, yes, use the greys at grey tones for their text. Other people might use red for their text, like everything's in red because they're Toyota or they're Coca-Cola or whoever they are. So, yeah.
So if their text colour was dark blue, would you put that as an accent colour as well, or just leave it as the text colour?
I'd only put it once. I'd only put it in one of these 4 options here, and then offer whatever colours for shapes and whatever else would be here. Yeah.
Colours, would you just
put something else here?
So what's that, Nat? I can't really hear what you're saying there.
I was just going to say, when they go to the actual color palette options at the front end, it doesn't specify text and background or accent, does it?
No, it just gives them a bar like this, so they can use it for whatever they like. It's up to you in the slide master to use it for whatever you want.
So it doesn't really matter then whether it's text or background or accent.
I don't, to be honest with you, I haven't had to think about it that hard. But that's these colours. You can see the order that they're appearing, and they're really just appearing in that order here. Yeah. In the slide master, you're really controlling what colour you want text to be, what colour you want a heading to be, what colour you want, you know, your shapes to be. This is really about offering them their colour palette.
Yeah, I've got a feeling.
Depends on how extensive their colour palette is.
Yeah, like if you create charts and stuff, I think it pulls that out from the first 4, thinking what the text colours would be. I think something like that. I think they might use those for, you know, widget things that you pull in, assuming that you're using background and text colours. I'm not sure.
Would you use those as the default, Tim, the text and background ones?
Well, in the past, I've just kept them quite standard, but yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly why they're differentiated from the accent colours, or if they are used anywhere like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because, for example, when you're putting a shape, it brings in the first accent colour. So if their colour is dark blue and the text is dark blue, then do you want the accent colour to be dark blue? So when they create shapes, it's got their brand colour already.
This is where what it's picking up for their graphs. So the blue, the red, the grey, which was the blue, the red, the grey, that's picking it up, the graphs. These ones, it's not. The text is probably that grey, I guess.
Yeah, so it's using accent colours for the bars.
So yeah, whatever you pick in here is going to be for, you know, whatever shapes they have, squares, circles, triangles, you know, in this bit graphs. So if I did Smart Art Graphics, which is one of these with all the different shapes. Well, you've got the choice, I guess.
So it seems like the first 4 colours are what you want for light and dark text or background colours, but then you might want to repeat some of the accents so it comes into their graphs and things as well if they're using the same color for their, accent colors as for the text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's picked up.
Okay.
Yeah. So back to design. So you would choose your color style. So once you've chosen it, you've named it, you can right click at any time and edit it and delete it if you needed to. There's an option here for fonts. I guess sometimes organisations add their own fonts. The only thing you have to be careful of that, which I'm sure you already know anyway, is that you add some really nice font that looks absolutely when you do this PowerPoint. But if they then have to send this PowerPoint to a client, my God, that really nice font that you chose turns into an ugly Arial, which looks really bad. So I don't know, what do you guys do these days for that sort of thing? Because unless you're saving it, unless whatever you're doing, it's going to be saved as a PDF, well then no problem. But these are PowerPoints that get shared around and not everybody's going to have the font, and you don't want to go off and remind people to send the font. They're going to forget about it. Information gets transferred to other people, and I don't know. What have you done in the past about that?
Well, it always seems a real danger. Echoing coming again. Don't know why. So most of the time we just make sure our clients have that font, and then usually it's shared internally. But the risk is if they're going to, an expo and someone else is going to present it on their computer, or the expo need it, then the only way is to just use a very, very standard fonts that are safe on all computers, which is quite restrictive.
It doesn't look the same, and it looks, it loses the effect.
Yeah, so we use the standard Arial, Calibri things that are on all Macs and PCs. But yeah, there would be a good way if there was a font embedding tool so that you could use whatever font you want. But most of the time it's PDF'd, but there are occasions when they have to do it on somebody else's computer, which is where you need to be careful.
Yeah, because if you're designing these for people to use, you've got to remember the first Chinese whispers, the first people you tell, they go, yeah, I got it, I know what I got to do. God knows if they pass on the instructions to the next person for using it. So,
yeah.
And then if this has got your, somewhere along the line, your branding as you being the designer, then, it comes back to you.
Yeah. So
anyway, again, stuff that you probably already know, but it's nice to sort of air it out.
Yeah, it's a bit of an annoying thing with the whole PowerPoint issue.
Well, and Word documents that you create
Yeah.
for them. If you create Word documents, Word templates for them, not so much Excel stuff, but Word ones definitely.
Yeah, Word's a little bit safer because that's not usually presented by an external company anywhere, so it's a little bit safer. It's usually the PowerPoints that you have to give to an organization to put up on the screen, and you just have to rely on having the fonts.
Yeah. The other thing that people are doing sometimes is designing their stuff for widescreen and sometimes for standard screen. So I don't know if you come across that. So again, you might have to design, again, have the discussion with the client. And if they say to you, oh, we do it all on standard, or no, we do it all on widescreen, or no, some other custom size that you might decide to do. But that is an option, which means you'd have to redesign duplicate all your layouts, maybe using that one. I don't know how it, if you transfer it to widescreen, yeah, but I don't know if it stretches out or if it deforms. Like I haven't, seen the difference. So you might have to do a bit of testing there.
Yeah,
but be aware that there is two options, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, most of the clients use widescreens, so that works out well. I did have a question about that though, because I was editing some slides from Alkane recently, and they had a template made by somebody else. And the default size when you create a widescreen template is about 25.4 centimeters wide, I think. But theirs was 33 centimeters wide. Same ratio, still 16:9. But okay, if there's 33 there. So does it matter what actual size that width and height is?
Like I say, I don't know, because I don't I haven't needed to, and not many people ask me the question either. Very few people actually even know that there's an option there, but yeah.
It's interesting though that your one's 33, because if I do a new blank presentation, let's what size mine is. Where do I go to? Where is it? Design. Slide size. It says mine's 33 as well. Interesting. Maybe that's changed when we had the original templates, which was 20.
Over the years, sometimes they change things, like the standard font used to be Times New Roman back in the days. Then it went to Arial, then it went to Verdana, and then it went to, they do all sorts of things like that too. And some of those measurements could have been, but they've got the option anyway. So that people are aware, you've got the option for portrait, landscape, notes, handouts. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of options in there too.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because the Alpine one's 25.4 centimeters wide. So
yeah.
Okay.
So you might have to play around with a concept like if I design them all set to this. Actually, let's have a look, see if it makes any difference, if we can see anything. If I change this from here to standard, well, you got the top max fit or ensure fit. The max. That's cut. That's not going good. Yeah, so things aren't going to rework the jig themselves either.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's the other option that would have fit in.
So it means you're going to have to design them or pre-warn the client and have the discussion, say, hey, are you ever going to want to put it in standard, yay or nay? And then you got to cost it in, because that's like double everything, and and explain to them that like it's not just duplicate and change the setting, it's I've got to resize the thing. Like that one fitted in there, but I don't know if I'd trust that.
Yeah.
It's always going to be the case.
I was like that with Alex's slides, Tim, when we dragged stuff from his working onto the Alkane template. Everything was giant.
I think that's because that slide size difference. This was 33 centimeters, that was 25. So
yeah, so we need to fix that.
Yeah, I think we'll change ours to 33 since that's the standard. We need to create a new one now. I'm not sure if that's changed at some point.
I'm sure that was bigger before.
Yeah.
And again, if you, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, something that's there, something to have a play around and consider. And then we've already talked about these ones here.
Okay, so you got the colors and the fonts. So you do that first, and then what's after that?
The effects. But when I've come in here and said, okay, I want this effect, I haven't really noticed. Okay, so this is like a flat and a bit of shaded there. So before I change anything, if I go to insert and bring in a shape, it's just like default plain. If I go to design and change the effect to be this bubbly one, which I can change it to that anyway, so I'm not sure. Barely tell that it's changed and it still looks ugly.
Might bring a new one in.
New
One of my
one.
little bugbears is when you do a shape, it always has a border to it, and it's almost never.
Insert new.
What
Every
I
time
find?
you create a new one, it has that design. Okay, well, it's
Okay.
still not quite as nice as what the option says, but something that's very distinctive. I guess this pencil looking thing. New shape. I can't tell.
No, it's the same. It's like I don't know.
So, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I've ever really relied on that. If somebody wants to use the effect, then they would really be selecting the shape and then coming to here and then muck around with the effects from there. And whatever you set it to, they can come in here and change it anyway. So, I'd leave it to the standard and let them come in here and do whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Because that does not look like that shaded pencil-y looking design.
No.
not to me.
Okay, so then we do slide master next. Create the slide master.
Yeah, so once you've picked your color theme and you've got that set, you've got your whatever fonts and stuff if you want to muck around with that. You design the in the slide master, start creating and building your slides.
So can we do that? If I don't...
Yeah, so in the slide master, it gives you the foundation, and you can, you know, keep these, trash them, make your own ones or whatever.
So could we start from kind of blank slate, do you think? Just...
Well, this is a blank one, and then you apply your custom theme color that you decided on. So it's using that. So then you would start applying, you know, those colors that you like, that they're your colors. I've got no color sense, so like, you know, lucky you're not considering that.
We won't judge.
Don't judge. This is just a rush job. Now, in terms of your bullets and designs that you want here, you'd come in here and choose the design of bullet. You can come in here to the bullets and numbering, just like you guys use Word, right? So you would do this in Word. Have you done this in Word? Change the design of bullets and stuff in Word?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this is exactly the same as if you were in Word. So you use it exactly the same. You decide if you want different colors for your design of bullet. You use either the ones that are here or go for picture and go find some pictures and use those. I don't know if you're going to get all of those choices on yours on the Mac. You know, we've got stock images, and the new one, Tim, that's just come recently is cartoon people. Before, you used to have the stick figure people, like the bean people, and now that you've got all of these, like, you know, options that you can stick together and make a person combination and change all the colours and whatever else. There's a whole heap of choices there. That's kind of like newish. You guys would have your own pool of really amazing pictures, but like there's standard stuff here, and then you can, you know, change all those colours to meet your colour schemes. Stickers, cut out people. There's a lot more, like all of this stuff is kind of new, like that wasn't around before. And it's good they don't have the background. See, the background sort of, it's just like the actual person. Yeah, so you can.
So how did you get to this section?
I was getting to it through pictures, but when I was in the bullet, I wouldn't use those things on a bullet.
No.
But and then there's customize, that's the same as always, right? Remember those? But if I was inserting a picture, under insert and picture, that's a picture from your device, from the stock images, from the internet. So it's called stock images. And stock images will get you to this option here, so you can do like a search. There's a whole bunch of things really reasonably nice already there, ready for you to go.
And they're all free to use license?
I think, well, I guess I would say so since they're here, but
I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah, they don't have like the stuff written on it and like saying, what is it? Not sensitive, copyright
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think you are. Yeah, they are. Well, why would they offer them if you can't use them? Like, you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Pretty sure. So with these icons, even though they're black and white, you can still select them and make them pink, purple, orange, and whatever else you want to do. So you can, like, and there's a whole heap of them. And then that was all the rest. Cool. And you can search for stuff anyway, you know.
So my options are images, icons, and cut out people.
Yeah, actually, that's where that power user comes into. So that power user thing that you can install, which you can go from insert, add-ins. I can barely remember how I did it, but I do have a blog on it somewhere that I'd have to find to remind myself how I did it. But I think it was add-ins. and manage other add-ins, and then it's called Power User. So you search for Power User, and then, you know, you can add it into here, and that gives you like a little library. Okay, it's not letting me do it in the slide master, but if I'm outside of the slide master, there's a little library here, and there's a whole bunch of images as well that you can use. So yeah, so in here you would do your different levels. It's up to people whether they want to use those levels or not. They don't have to use every single level, but they're there for them to use it. And you can, you know, style the text into whatever font size, color you want them to be using. With the bullets, if you want to have the bullets, some people, what they've done is, this is a second level, but doesn't mean I want to give them access to a bullet. Maybe the design that the organisation wants to use is, it's a second level, but I don't want them to be able to see bullets, because they're trying to get away with, get out of the idea of everything's bullets and sub bullets. Like, be more creative, be more, you know, don't just block your screen with text, text, text. So that's why you give them all these different, you know, design ideas rather than just, you know, bullet designs. So yeah, you don't have to offer the bullet if you don't want to. I will leave it there though, but you can also control the distance. I hate the bullets and the text being so close together. Sometimes I like to have a little bit of breathing space. To control that breathing space, if I'm in this top line here, this is pretty much the way you would do it if you're in Word, if you haven't done it before. You've got your paragraph marker up the top here, and if you grab the little triangle and pull it away, you're controlling how far away the text is from there.
Wherever the cursor is at the time.
No, it's, well, I'm in the first level bullet, so this is controlling it for the first level bullet. If I'm in the second level bullet, this is controlling it for the second level bullet.
Yeah, so just place your cursor wherever you want to change it.
Yes.
Like onto whichever line. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay. So you can control that distance from here if you want.
Does that apply to normal text as well, if you just had a paragraph text?
Yeah, you've always got access to a ruler, whether you're doing it through the slide master or whether you're doing it in another document. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like if you're not working with bullets, for example, but just a paragraph of text. How do I access the ruler? Because that doesn't come up on mine.
View and ruler.
So I've got to actually turn it on somewhere.
If
Okay.
it's not on, yeah. I would leave that on for the client in case they want to come here and, well.
Yep, beautiful.
Yeah. So from here, you will also insert your images. So you'll do your stuff in InDesign and then make it into a picture and then, you know, dump it into here to give them the look of the whatever. I like my blueberries, I think. Blueberries, where's my blueberries? Oh, that one. Whatever. So you'd have your image, your logo, your whatever you do, make it all, you know, however you like it. You know, put it in the back, you know, you tweak with all your settings. So picture, you're probably better off getting your picture perfect, like, you know, with the transparency and the effects and all of that stuff. You do it all in your special software stuff and then just bring it in here, because the effects we have here, I mean, they're not bad. I mean, they're there, they're available, right? And they can still be pretty nice and effective, but that's kind of like all we got. And you can muck around with the transparency and what have you.
So it looks as though some things on that master slide apply to all other slides, like the picture and the footer, but the text boxes don't necessarily.
Yeah, they can be independent. And if I don't put it in here, like I might want only when you use this specific slide, I want a specific image or something only on this specific one, then I'll make sure I'm in that one when I insert the picture, then it's only applicable to this specific one.
So suppose on this slide here, we wanted to add the same bullet lists. So with the slide above that one, the layout above that one, can you click on that for a second, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So this one's following the pattern of this one, but you can tweak it and make it different. Let's have a look. That's where you're going, yeah?
Oh, I'm just trying to understand how that flows into the layouts, the
It's
master
actually
slide.
changing the master as well. So if I change it here, it's still changing the master of all of the masters. See, I changed it in this one, but it still changed it in that one. If I did it here, it still changed it in this one. It's still connected to this top one. So it's still cascading down. So if you do want it to be different, let me undo that. You may need to build a new one. Let's see if I insert a text placeholder, will it still follow from that one, or will it allow me to make it different?
So basically, okay. So anything you, so with you insert or text or pull from the master slide.
That didn't change the master of the masters, and that didn't change this one.
Independent of it?
It stayed independent, but that's because I created at my own layout. So, you know, the title might be drawn from the top one, but I can actually insert whatever placeholders I want, and I can have it break from that tradition. You want to have a play with it on your own one, so you can.
Sure. Can I share as I do that and just understand what's happening?
Yeah.
I might start
let me tell you about some of these other ones. So you can insert picture placeholder. You saw that. It also has a smart art placeholder, so you can put in a placeholder for where you want your smart art to go. Chart, if you wanted to insert a chart, insert media clip. So these are all bits and pieces that you can insert and position wherever you want. All right, yep, I'll unshare mine and you can go on yours.
I might just start with the first one.
Yeah. Yep, design it and the color palette if you wanted to do that. I don't know.
That's okay. I just want to do the slide master really. Slide master.
Use slide master. Left a bit more. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So can I delete these just so I can start from scratch, the layouts, just to understand what's happening?
Yeah. Does it let you?
I don't think I can't delete ones that are in use. Let me just.
There's nothing in use, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
This the first one was.
Okay.
So on the slide master, you'd have a title and a text area.
Yeah.
And then this one here can include a title and a text area if you want. Just why is this different to this layout here?
Yeah, it usually allows for. It's just the way it's designed that it's like this one is like separate and it doesn't flow. So if you change the slide number 1 bit, the top one, and the first placeholder at the top, and you made that red.
This one.
Yep.
Change the title there.
It did follow onto that one.
Yeah, but so if I change this one though,
well, there's no bullets in the other one, so
okay, change that. So that's still treating the first level bullet as the normal paragraph style, I guess.
Yeah. It's so that you can change things once and not have to go into. So if I change my mind and said everything has to be red, you don't have to go to all those 20 slides and change all the text to be red. You only do it once and it cascades all the way down for your masters.
Yeah, so okay, so I guess what I'm thinking is, so I'll close that.
So go slide master and go on the left, the second button on the left. Back in the master, I was saying, but okay.
Yeah, good. Slide master. What was
Use
that?
slide master. So if you go to the second button on the left, it says insert layout.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you go to 3-4 buttons across, it says insert placeholder. Yeah, there. And then you choose whatever bits and pieces you want to put where and how you want to align them and whatnot.
Okay, so that always bring in what's here in the slide master.
Yeah.
So I guess the question I was asking earlier was, let's close it master view.
Yep.
So do a new slide.
Yep.
So if I'm writing here.
Yep.
And then I just want it to be paragraph text. I'll just get rid of the paragraph, but it's.
Yep. And just start typing normal. Yep.
So, but then down here, I need to do a bullet list. I'll add in a bullet list.
You can press the button again. Yeah.
Okay, so the paragraph text will be the first bullet point list, the same style that's in.
Well, it's whatever you
So I
made.
couldn't start the first bullet point to be different. Yeah,
Well,
I'm saying I can't make this paragraph different to this. That's always got to be this.
you can if you hit tab, because
Thanks,
then
it's
you'll be
pulling
using
from
the
the same
second
line.
level. You make your second level something different.
Okay, so I have to put it to a second level to show differently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that
Okay.
second level doesn't mean you have to have a bullet point. That second level could be no bullet. It could be a different coloured text, but aligned to the left. It doesn't have to be a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
You can still tell me what you want when somebody hits enter and tab. What do you want them to do? Or when they hit that indent button up the top on the right, what do you want it to look like?
Yeah. What I'm thinking is, for a user point of view, it'd be great if they could type in a paragraph text. When they get to a bullet list, then that is maybe a bit smaller or something. But
You can make
they
it
wouldn't
smaller.
know. But they wouldn't know to go to the second level because that's too complicated for them. There's no way to communicate that to the entire organization. They'll just normally do the first level tab. It would look like that.
But then don't make that layout. Go back to the slide master then. And in the slide master, so view, slide master, that specific slide down the bottom there, one more down, that one, that blue bit with a blue thing, take off the bullet there. So it's not offered. You're not offering them a bullet at all.
Okay.
So that anytime they type in a paragraph, that's the paragraph. Anytime you hit tab, yes, it will have a bullet and this is what the bullet will look like and this is what the color text will look like. Don't offer the bullet. So when you go new slide now, they don't get offered a bullet.
So it's got, I think it's got title slide custom layout. Which one is?
So go to home for me. Click on, right click on that, right click on that.
Which one?
The bottom one that you designed.
Yeah.
Right, rename and call it paragraph. That's it. That'll do. Yep.
Okay.
So now you go home, new slide. All right, whatever. Yep. Either way, same thing. I don't know where you were at now. So go new slide up the top. Oh, are you frozen now? Oop. Yeah. I wanted to go to new slide and choose that slide that you. It's getting delayed, so I don't know which one you're choosing, but there's no bullet point in there, so it should be correct.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yep. So
no
now
bullet.
when you type in that bluey coloured writing, so if you type in that bluey coloured writing there and just start typing normal text on the right.
Yeah, I'm typing in here now.
Seeing it.
Yeah, it's delayed.
Okay.
And your speech was frozen, so there you go. So you're typing your normal sentence paragraph thing, and when they hit enter at the end of their paragraph and they go, right, well, I want a bullet, whatever, when they hit tab for the bullet, tab.
Well, it's just come, if I press enter and I do tab, it goes.
It should have been the
tab.
brown. So the thing was a bit delayed, so I think it's not showing the right layout that you chose. So can you go to the layout tab up the top?
Layout.
So where it says reuse, yeah, there. You've got more than 2 layouts and it's not showing the other one. Paragraph.
Well, yeah, I've got title and paragraph.
Okay, so if you click on paragraph.
Yep. All
right. Now, yeah, go to the end of go up, arrow up. Just hit your arrow up. Yeah, now hit, no, not that far up. Just one up.
Yeah.
Go down one.
Yep.
I just wanted you to hit enter and tab. but I wanted you to
Enter.
do it fresh.
Tab.
Okay, why is your bullet not coming up? And it should be coming up in the brownie colour.
If I go to a bullet and I tab, it will change it to brown.
Oh, that's what I meant. So you didn't hit tab before?
On the paragraph text I did.
Yeah, so when you got to the end of that paragraph, you should be able to hit enter. Hit enter,
now.
press tab, and when
Yeah.
you press tab, it should be going to that brownie one. Why isn't it doing that?
Well, I guess because it's not a bullet point, it's just doing a tab and a paragraph. I've got to make it a bullet
No,
first.
tab is-
Tab it.
Okay. Oh, because it was a, yeah, okay, sorry, yes, I guess, because we did set it as a paragraph, not as a bullet. So yes, so people are going to have to know to use, so if you go that above the brownie one, if you put your cursor just above that brown there, yep. And if you now use the button for indent on the top right, will that give you, there we go.
Mhm.
But that's like, if that's what you want people to do, you want them to type in normal writing instead of doing a bullet, then yeah.
Okay, I mean, it just seems like we just have to style the paragraph as the same first bullet point, because most people will use that and then just do the bullet points there, as opposed to doing the indent or the or the double tab.
Yeah, so it is open to, yeah.
Okay.
There's no, I don't think there's a way around that. But, you know, when you give them the, you can give them a PowerPoint with the text looking like this, right? Which means, so you can give them in two formats so they can get used to, you know, what it's supposed to look like, what the design is supposed to look like.
Yep. So you create the slide master, and then you create a few slides for them, just
a few slides for them with sample text, you know, sample stuff that they say all the time, like a quick reference, you know, like a template of text. Like some of it depends. Every client's going to be different. They start their text from scratch, and others use the same wording all the time. You know, all of our pricing will be scheduled to You know what I mean? And then, you know, things might change a little bit, but they can make that change in the template as it happens. But they've got sample of text, so they've got the format of how it should look as well. Yeah. But yeah, that's like, this is about like people understanding and knowing how to use the product as well. It's like, you know, everything's open to a little bit of, unless you give it to all as a PDF, then they can't touch anything. But
Okay. I was just thinking as well, on the alkane one I had here, we had kind of these sections here. That would have to be a color in the slide master, which they couldn't change because there's no option to have a shape. Is there as a placeholder?
A shape as a placeholder.
And that will work. Yeah, so they can, like, you can do a shape here. They could change the color on the front end, but not the actual shape itself. Like an image, they just change out the color.
Yeah, they can change the colors, but not the shape. Okay. Well, if you insert a shape, they don't have access to change that shape. So if you go insert and say shape and then put in a shape there, then that shape is there. They're not got from the other end. Well, is this in your master? Yeah. All right. So when you get out
of my master. Yeah.
All right. So if you get out of the master, and can you click on that shape now? I don't think you can because it's in the back. Yeah, it's in the background. It's secured basically.
Okay.
You have to physically give them a layout.
In the slide master with the background.
In the actual, not in the slide master, in the actual presentation that you've got now, like there.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So you actually have to design a slide with particular shapes wherever they are. And if you say these are, and then you sort of say these are ones that you are allowed to change the colours of. But that's the way you have to give them that access. You can't give it to them through the layout because
Yeah, they can't change it.
Can't change it there.
Okay, and going back to the slide master again, on here we've got these boxes at the bottom. Are these just, is that a special footer box or is that just a text box? What
Yeah, they're pretty much just text boxes that people can type in footer. And the other one's a page number, the one with a hash. It's like a field where people can choose to display the slide number or not. That's controlled from, so if you go to, okay, if you get out of there, one sec, and you go to view, oh, what am I thinking? Insert. If you go to insert on the left, and then on the far right, go to where it says header footer. Header footer is not like Word document header footer. We don't really have a header and have a footer. We really just have a footer. And then it's up to you whether you want the footer to be the placeholder to be stretched all the way across, where you in fact want that permanent information up the top, on the left, at the bottom, you know, wherever you want it. So when you tick the box for footer, you can type in, you know, azsolutions.com.au sort of thing, right? Limited, whatever, and apply it to either all the slides or just to this one slide. But wherever the placeholder is for the footer, that's where it's gonna be.
Okay. So
if you go to the master, sorry, apply it first so we can see where it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Where was I again? Insert header footer.
Yeah. Footer, type in, you know, Gemaker, blah, 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 or whatever. Yeah, that'll do. Just say apply to all for a second. Yep, and then get out. See how it's at the bottom and smack in the middle? All right, but if you go to your slide master now.
It looks like I can actually move that on here. I can on the
but it's slide. Moving it on that one slide and not for every single slide. So you go to the slide master and then you go to the, you know, either the top one or whichever one you want. Like go to the main one up, that one. And now you go to that placeholder and you can get rid of the date, get rid of, maybe you don't want them to have the option for, or grab the footer placeholder and put it at the top right. So grab that, put it at the top right. That's it. Now get out of here. Close the view. They've all been put at the top right now. So it's just a placeholder and you decide where it goes anyway.
Okay.
Could be on the left, could be on the right, could be not even offering it at all, whatever.
So if I go back to the slide master.
Yeah.
If that wasn't there, I had a blank one, you know, for whatever reason. How do I actually insert? How do I insert these boxes? Are they just insert text box? Again,
not normal text box, no. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It has to work like a field that it gets updated and change it. So if you were to delete the one that says this is a footer, right up the top, if you grab that and you go delete, and then you go, oh crap, I want to put it back. When you go to the slide master at the top, the tab slide master, top left. Yep. And there's a tick box that says footer. Yours is grayed out for some reason. You should be able to tick it to put it back. Oh, master layout. Yep, master layout. Yep, that button that you're about to get to.
Okay, so it's all special placeholders here. Okay.
Correct. And then they just reset themselves to the standard locations if you accidentally take them off.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So interestingly, with these ones, it stayed up in the corner. So I guess you can rearrange them.
You put them anywhere you want. Make them as big as you want, change the font size, whatever. Yeah.
So if I wanted all my slides to put the footer back in the middle, is there a way to reset those slides? So
they are, what's that one? No. So it's the top there. You have to drag it back to
Okay.
its
So it's
location.
also got the
Be
different
good.
text as well. It's got the more footer there. So if I delete that,
Unless you delete it and then go back
if I check it again, it goes back to normal.
down the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that kind of
Yeah.
resets it. It seems.
Yeah.
So you can choose to include the title, not the title. Okay, that's good to know. In there. Okay, so basically, just to clarify in my head, which is what I was got confused in, is that the title and the text box flow through to all other levels.
Yes.
Anything else is independent, really. I guess if I put an image on here, it'll go through to everything as well, won't it? So
Whatever you do in that big one cascades through.
okay,
The idea is you have a master for the masters, you know?
yeah. Okay. So I guess if this was the normal style, and I wanted a title slide. I'm gonna make my own title slide for a second. Insert layout. So would I move this? So say the title slide was completely different to everything else. Yeah. How would I create a title?
So grab that title and drag it to the middle or something and center it, make it different colors and whatever. And is that changing everywhere else?
No.
No, it's changing just on that one because you're creating your own layout. When you create your own one, it's kind of the formatting is detached from the main one.
Okay. So if I wanted to change my heading from all other slides to make it smaller there, does that flow onto these? So it flows onto
all
this
of them
one.
Except that title one for some reason. I don't know. Sometimes it does it.
But it's flowed onto that too, hasn't it? It's changed that one too.
Did that make it smaller? I think it did, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I wanted that one to be independent, I guess, of the other slide titles. So would I just do a text box normally and change the text box style?
Try. Take it out.
Take that.
Insert text box on the far right somewhere. Click it there.
Title. But that's not going to be editable, is it? If it's because it's not an insert placeholder. Don't do insert placeholder text box or. Well,
let's just test that one. I have to test that.
Yeah.
So because you made this as a text box, not as a placeholder, I would think that's a permanent one. But anyway, let's see what happens.
Yeah. That's a layout.
Yeah. So try and type in there.
That's a permanent one.
Yeah,
I can't.
Because you've got to use their placeholders. That's the idea. Yeah.
Use slide master. So I'll get rid of that. So I set a placeholder text, but I just want it to be separate, I guess, to the other text that I've got happening. So
the change is one directional. So if you change from the master of the master, it cascades down. If you change from the individual, it changes at the individual.
Yeah, so I guess.
So you just got to be careful which way you're touching.
So what I want to do is have another type of text here, which is in the title slides. But how can I get that to separate from these?
You still use this bulleted design one. Just take out the bullets and, stretch out the box however you want. Just don't use the bullet effect because you don't want the bullet effect. But you're still using that placeholder frame.
And your title, let's make this. I'll keep it orange. Let's go super large.
Right.
So that's not linked to anything else. Well, I guess, so if I go to here and I make everything purple, doesn't affect that. Okay, so I've overridden that text.
Because you used the bullet. That was a bullet design. That's not a bullet design what you got there.
Okay, so I just have a bullet design.
Made that a bullet, yeah, and you now changed that to a different color or something, I guess.
Green is.
Let's see what happens there. It's green and what? Blue, yellow there.
Yeah, so the text isn't overriding what I do here, but the title seems to be overriding the other titles. So the title almost looks like it's linked, but not the text. It's
but not
text
the bottom.
boxes. So if on this one I wanted to have my text boxes, if I create, I guess, if I create a new insert
Master.
master, insert text
That's
here.
not- yeah.
So initially it grabs that, but then if
Yeah.
I change it here, it's no longer connected to that.
Hopefully.
So we'll change this to grey. Then that's still green, so it just overrides the text. Text you can override.
That's what I'm saying is, which way are you making changes? If you may change from the where it says number 1 there, the master of the masters, that cascades down. But if you do it from the individual one, it's at the individual level.
Okay. I have to try one more thing.
So if you go to that top one now, just do it that one, and now change the green to something else. Yeah. See how it's flowing?
Yeah, so it looks like as soon as you override something, it unlinks it, but if you haven't touched it, it actually reflects the changes.
But I'm saying which way are you touching it makes a difference. You're making the change from the master, the master of the master. Therefore, that flows down.
Yeah,
But
unless
you
I've
can
actually
then-
overridden it, it sounds like.
But then you can override it by the individual one. But the minute you go to the master of the masters and change something, it's gonna trickle all the way down again. So you got to be careful what you retouch in the master of the master. The master of the master is the one with the number 1, which is a big fat one at the very top. That one. It's driven top down.
Yeah.
So you start at the top, you get the foundations right, and hopefully you don't want to touch it again or anybody else to mess with it. And then if you want to do something individually special, you'll go to those individual sub layouts that you have below and then break tradition.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what it seems as though is these are all linked, all the qualities are linked to the slide master unless you override a specific quality. So I changed the color here.
Yep.
So that didn't go overridden when I changed the master. But
you changed it at the
because
sub, not at the master. You changed it at the sub.
Yeah,
That's a sub.
and that's what I want to. That's what I'm seeing if I can do. So, if on this slide I want this one to be a different color, then I can make it a different color.
You can.
So that way, if I change the color here, yeah, I know. But if I change the color here, it's
then
not going to change. Sorry.
I think it will.
No, because as soon as you override a specific
for the title,
quality,
it didn't. Okay.
But if I change the size, it will update it because I hadn't changed the size on that yet. So it seems like it all stays linked unless you override a specific parameter, in which case that unlinks it from the master. Because it knows I've customized the color there, so it's not going to override it for me unless I reset the slide. But the size I haven't changed, so that's still linked to the size of this. So if I change it to tiny, it goes tiny again.
Does it change tiny down the bottom?
Yeah. So I think that's what I have understood is, yeah, it's linked until you override a specific parameter, and then it will keep whatever you put in there. But I wonder if I can then change it back to default, or how do I change?
Control Z to undo, like.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I have to make lots of changes. So I want it to actually reassume the first level style again. Is there a way that I can reset grayed out, to reset the whole slide? I don't know.
No, you're the one designing what you want here, so there's no it's reset.
Yes, so I guess once you've changed something, then you've just changed it.
You've changed it, so you decide what you want. This is where you're being creative, and that's what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
When you're at the other end applying it, that's where you got the reset option, but not when you're designing.
Yeah. Okay, so if I made a mistake and I want that to be red again, probably better to go and start a new slide.
Do it again.
Yeah, I'll just remake the slide, I guess. So it's for filling in the original styles. Okay, thank you. That makes sense. Okay, I'll stop sharing mine right now. Or do you want to take over? I'm not quite sure how to stop sharing. Oh,
That's right. I'll take over.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I ask one other question, actually? With the placeholder images, can you put a placeholder image in for a second, please?
So the picture or tables or?
Yeah, picture, just a picture. Okay. The Alkane template that we got that someone else put together initially, it had kind of a patterned background there to kind of indicate that it was a placeholder picture. Do you know where that's added?
Sorry, say again.
If you have the Alkane one, the placeholder pictures, they've got kind of a patterned background or something to show more clearly that it's a picture that's supposed to go there.
This little icon there?
Yeah, but it's not that icon. It's got if you open up the Alkane presentation, look at the slide master, it's like all, I can't remember what it is, blue lines or something in the background. Do you know what I mean? So
These?
No, I'll open up on mine if you like. Okay, so here in the slide master, it's got this kind of thing to show that it's more, to show more obviously, I guess it's an image.
Click on that. Go format shape at the back. At the top in the menu, format shape at the top.
Shape format, that one there.
Yep. And go to fill shape.
Shape fill there, that one.
Yep. And gradients stuff.
It's got a text, no gradient. Maybe it's got a texture or something. No. But it's something there they've done, is it? I guess they've added the background.
More gradients. Go gradients down. More gradients.
Got pattern fill. Okay, so they put a
There,
pattern
down
fill
the bottom there. Second row. Yeah, there.
Yeah.
They've just added that themselves.
Okay, I thought it was kind of useful just to show people that it's an image supposed to go there. Well, it could be handy. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our session for today, but I think there's so much more to PowerPoint and a lot more that we could go through and cover and talk about. But hopefully, you've gotten at least you found some foundations to go and start to tackle. Do you feel like you've got?
Yep, yeah, it's very useful. Just very quickly, the second slide master, is that difficult to use, or you just open the slide master and then you can just choose a layout from either one as you're building a presentation?
Yeah, so you can I need to be in a slide, go back to design and choose a different style or whatever. That's going to give you two, hang on. I don't want to apply this master to all of them. So when I right click, apply it to only the selected slide. That way I keep the previous design as well as the new one. That's how I keep two, which means when you go to the master, you actually have two sets of masters. This master for all of these.
I can't see your screen, by the way. I'm not sure if you're supposed to be sharing.
Oh, sorry. Whoops. I didn't realise I wasn't sharing there. All right, let me do that again. Go back. All right, so this is using one design theme, and this one I want it to use a different design theme. So when I come into here and I pick whatever there is, I'll right click on it and say apply to the selected slide.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's going to give me two masters. So when I go to view and say slide master, there's two masters. There's the original one, the master for all of the masters. And this is the master for the sub ones here.
Great. And then when you're creating slides, you can just choose any of those layouts?
You can choose from any of the two.
Okay.
So when you go to new, you can be looking at one set of masters. And if you roll down, you'll be looking at the second set of masters, or a third or a fourth, or however many different ones.
Okay, great. That could be
What
useful.
happens, what you need to do with this though, from your end, is you need to preserve it, pin it. Because if I come in here and say, right, I'll delete a slide that's using one of these, then in the master, it's now no longer available.
Yeah. So as soon as
Okay.
all the slides are
So
gone.
this is why we pin it. So when you create a slide and then you apply your one that you needed to the selected one, you want to ensure that it still stays there and available in place, even if every single slide has been deleted that uses any of these. So to do this in the master, when you're in this one here, you want to hit preserve.
Yeah, okay, good to know.
So the preserve, once you pin it, if you don't pin it, it's going to go like I showed you before. So now if anybody, even if they delete every single slide that uses that particular master, that won't get killed. It'll still be available there.
Yeah.
That's really important as a designer to keep that, because sometimes people don't want to use any of the designs for, you know, internal people or for external people, but 2 weeks later they might, and they need to still have that accessible.
Yep, definitely.
And sometimes people like to design things for the, you know, the opposite, the background being dark and the writing being white, and then give them the offer the same thing but in the reverse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can design the same set but in kind of like reverse.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, I'd also, when I give the client the template, I would have at least one slide that sort of says instructions, and then I'd say, you know, whatever is the pitfalls or something that I think they should know about. So that's something that they can easily delete, but they always have it on hand the minute that they use it. And then maybe 1 or 2 layouts with actual text that they use all the time. For all information piece called like the text is the same, right? Then I'd offer that already there typed as a sample so that they know, like, you know, in your case, you've got the text, and then the second one you want them to use the bullet, you know, then at least they can muck around and go, oh, I've got to turn on the bullet, turn off the bullet, I've got to indent, not indent to get that second look.
Mm-hmm.
They've got at least the sample.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just have a little thing at the start saying, you know, you add new layouts. People don't know they add layouts, so just so.
Yeah, little you know, helpful hints, tips, or whatever, or something, you know. And that's how you give it to them, and make sure you give it to them as a template.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then maybe give them the instruction to say, go to design, go to here, do the save as theme, right click, set as default theme. I would put that as an instruction in as a slide, so that going forward they know, oh, all right, I'll do that. They do it and then file new, and then they're rolling. They're going. They don't have to wait for somebody to tell them, because all that stuff gets lost in translation. So I would give them, you know, 2 to 3 slides of instruction.
Yeah, so that will bring in the fonts. I won't have the slide master or anything like that. I'll just have the styles.
Yeah, you cut out a bit there, so something about slide master and styles.
If they stay, if they save the theme, that just saves the fonts and the colors, not the slide master itself.
No. It saves the when they're saving it here, they're saving the theme, the colors, and when they go to new slide, the layouts are also saved.
Okay, so when you say save theme, that's actually saving the template itself effectively for them to reuse.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's actually saving the layouts, which is in effect the master.
Okay.
With all your special layouts, yeah. So they get everything.
Okay, great.
Yeah. All right, that's great. Oh, can I get you to go to my website for me and just fill in a little evaluation? So if you can go to azsolutions.com.au for me. Actually, I'll tell you a little bit more of what I've got. So I also have lots of free resources that you can access, and I'll put it in an email to you later. Actually, do I have your email address so I can give you the certificate? Can you put it in the chat?
Sure.
And That way I can send that off. But when you go to tutorials, what I have here is podcasts that you can listen to. And the podcasts are tips on all Microsoft Office aspects. So they could be on Excel, they could be on Word, they could be on PowerPoint. There's all different things. So other than a podcast that you can go to and listen to, I've got also webinars. What I do is on the last Thursday of every month, I hold a free 30-minute webinar. My next webinar that I'm having is Understanding OneNote. So the following, or the last Thursday of this month. And I haven't decided about what my other ones are going to be. But yeah, so I do free 30-minute webinars on the last Thursday of every month. All you have to do is hit register and then go through that way.
Okay, great.
I have under tutorials, you can sign up for tips and tricks, but if you click on tutorials, that'll also get you to my YouTube channel. So I have a YouTube channel where I've got all sorts of, again, all about my different Microsoft Office stuff. So this will get you to a couple of those things. But with the, basically with a YouTube channel, if you can type in my name, it'll get you to anything to do with me.
Cool.
Okay, great. Thanks for that.
The YouTubes are kind of short. I like to keep them, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, like they don't go on for an hour or anything like that. If you go to the channel, I'll just quickly show you and get to it. There's playlists. So you can say, yep, I just want to check out stuff to do with PowerPoint. So you can go straight to the playlist for PowerPoint, and then all the different stuff that I've got with playlists. So like the design template, the working with the smart art. So there's a couple of other things in there that you can, yeah, have a look at. And that's
Awesome.
all stuff that you can access free from there. What I'll get you to do is go to contacts for me and then scroll all the way down. I'll just get copy. When you scroll all the way down, there's an area there for create your own review.
Mhm.
And, oops, not that one. All right, and I'll just get this certificate and reference notes ready and then email them out to you now that I've got your email there. Yep. And do you have, who was the other person? Julie? Should I get Julie's email and send her one as well, or just?
Yeah, sure. I'll just put it in there.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Put that through. All right. Yeah. So yeah, so if you can get to that contents area, say create your own review and, fill in that would be great. There's also blogs that you can visit on PowerPoint as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can sort of have a look around whatever there is around there. Julie might be interested in that one for her presentations, actually, converting a Word into PowerPoint and vice versa. Like, yeah, people often get two different people to create the PowerPoint, one person to create the PowerPoint, another one to do the documentation, and then the trainer has to work with both different resources and they don't match up. You can create one, just your Word document, and transfer that into PowerPoint by just hitting a button and then, tweaking and changing some stuff.
Okay. And so I guess when you convert to PowerPoint, you can choose what style you want to use or theme.
Yeah, once you chuck it into PowerPoint, yeah.
Yeah, it could be good because we put together pictures and stuff in Word documents. Everyone's combining in the same Word document. So that could be useful in converting that into a PowerPoint presentation.
If you like, I mean, we probably could do with another session and cover some of those other points. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see how we go with that.
Yeah. All right. So have a go, digest what we've talked about first and see how you go. All right. There was in the chat the meeting, the YouTube, because I stopped it for the break and then started it again. So you might want to go to the chat and up the top there. There's an option there to get the link, and once you get the link, it'll take you to somewhere here, and then from here I said download. And then when we finish this one, it'll I'll stop it now so that we have it there. It takes a little while probably to generate it.
It says I've got to sign in to get that.
Does it?
Like, yes, sign in
Yeah,
as you.
and it's come up, yeah, with your email.